It happened at 2:11 a.m. His phone buzzed once. He ignored it. Then it buzzed again. Annoyed, he reached for it. The notification preview made his stomach drop. The message was from his own number. Not a similar number, not a private ID, his exact phone number. He stared at the screen. Maybe it was a glitch. Spam. Some weird technical error. He opened the message. It said, "Stop looking behind you." His body froze. He was sitting alone in his apartment. Lights off, back facing the living room. Slowly, very slowly, he turned around. Nothing. Just darkness. Silence. He looked back at his phone. Another message. Too late. His hands started shaking. He immediately checked the contact info. It wasn't saved. It wasn't edited. It was literally his number. Same digits, same country code, same everything. He tried calling it. The call failed instantly. No ringing, no connection, just call ended. Another message appeared. You shouldn't have turned around. His throat went dry. This wasn't funny. No one else had access to his phone. No one was in the apartment. He stood up slowly and turned on the lights. The room looked normal. Couch, table, TV. Nothing out of place. He checked the front door. Locked. Windows, closed. He opened his messaging app settings. Maybe someone spoofed his number. Maybe it was a known scam. But when he checked the conversation details, the thread showed something disturbing. The first message in the chat wasn't from 2:11 a.m. It was from earlier that night, at 1:03 a.m., a message sent from his number that read, "I'm awake." He didn't remember sending that. He checked his sent messages. Nothing. It wasn't there. But in the thread, it clearly showed as sent. His breathing got heavier. Either someone had hacked his phone, or something was manipulating it. Another buzz. You don't remember, do you? He dropped the phone onto the couch like it had burned him, because now it wasn't just a prank. It was referencing his memory, and that's what scared him most. He forced himself to pick the phone back up, hands still shaking. He opened his call logs first. Nothing unusual, no outgoing calls at 1:03 a.m., no drafts, no deleted messages. He checked his screen time. It showed activity at 12:58 a.m., 5 minutes of usage. But he was asleep at 12:58. He was sure of it. He lived alone. No one else had access to his phone. Unless he opened his front camera by instinct. His reflection stared back at him, pale, wide-eyed, exhausted. Then another buzz. You were standing in the hallway. His chest tightened. He hadn't told anyone that, because he didn't remember standing in the hallway. He slowly walked toward the bedroom door. The hallway light was off, dark, silent. His mind started racing. Had he sleepwalked? He checked his gallery. There were no photos, but in the recent files section, there was something new. A 9-second video recorded at 1:02 a.m. He didn't remember recording anything. His thumb hovered over the screen. For a moment, he didn't want to press play, but he had to. The video opened. It was dark, shaky. Breathing could be heard. His breathing. The camera slowly moved down the hallway toward the living room, and then the screen tilted slightly, as if he had turned the phone toward himself. For a split second, his face appeared, eyes open, expression blank, not confused, not scared, just empty. And then the video ended. He dropped into the nearest chair because the messages weren't coming from outside. They weren't from a hacker. They were coming from him, but not the version of him he remembered being. Another buzz. I told you, I'm awake. He couldn't breathe properly. The video kept replaying in his mind. Those eyes, open, but not present. He checked the time again. 2:19 a.m. Another message came in. You don't remember what happens after. His brain started searching for logic. Stress. Exhaustion. Maybe he had been sleepwalking. He opened his browser and typed, "Sending texts while asleep." Articles appeared. Parasomnia. Sleep texting. Sleepwalking with phone use. It sounded ridiculous until he remembered something. A few weeks ago, he had woken up in the kitchen, standing, with no memory of walking there. He laughed it off at the time. Now, it didn't feel funny. Another buzz. You should go back to sleep. His pulse spiked again. If this was him, why was he texting himself? And how was the conversation happening in real time? He checked the typing indicator. 3 dots appeared, then disappeared, then appeared again, as if someone was actively responding. He opened the phone's security settings. No unknown logins, no remote access, no duplicate SIM, nothing unusual. Everything pointed back to one explanation: his mind. But that didn't explain the timing. The messages were instant, responsive, aware. He typed back for the first time. What do you want? The reply came immediately. Control. The word sat on the screen like it had weight, because deep down, he knew what it meant. If he had been moving around unconsciously, if part of him was active while the rest slept, then there were moments of the night he didn't own. And that's more terrifying than any intruder, because you can lock a door, you can change a password, but you can't lock your own mind. Another buzz appeared. Stay awake tonight. He didn't sleep that night, not even for a second. He sat on the couch with every light on, phone in his hand, waiting, watching the clock. 3 a.m., 3:30 a.m., 4:10 a.m. No messages, no movement, nothing strange. By sunrise, exhaustion hit him hard, and that's when something clicked. Every message had come after he fell asleep. Every video had been recorded during deep sleep hours. He wasn't being contacted. He was dissociating. Later that week, he visited a sleep specialist. After tests and monitoring, the answer was uncomfortable, but real. Severe stress-induced parasomnia. Episodes of partial wakefulness, walking, using his phone, even sending texts. But here's the part that disturbed him most. During these episodes, parts of the brain are awake, motor skills active, basic responses functioning, but memory formation offline. Which meant something chilling. When he texted, "I'm awake," technically he was, just not consciously. The reason replies felt instant? He was typing them in the same episode, rapidly, without remembering. The typing indicator? He later discovered a glitch in the messaging app that sometimes loops during unstable signal conditions. Everything had a logical explanation. Everything. He changed his sleep routine, reduced stress, left his phone in another room at night. The messages stopped, the episodes stopped. But sometimes, when he wakes up randomly at night, he still checks his phone, half expecting a message that says, "I'm still here." Not from a ghost, not from a hacker, but from the part of his mind that wakes up when he doesn't. Even after the diagnosis, even after the routines changed, even after the nights became quiet again, one thing never fully left him: the awareness. The idea that there are parts of your brain that can operate without you. We like to believe we're always in control, that every message we send, every step we take, every word we say is fully conscious. But sleep disorders prove something unsettling. Control is layered, and sometimes one layer wakes up while the other stays offline. There was no hacker, no duplicate SIM, no supernatural presence, just stress, exhaustion, a brain pushed too far. But here's the part that lingers. If he had never recorded that video, if he had never checked the logs, he might have believed something else was inside his apartment. And how many fears in life start the same way? A gap in memory, a missing detail, an unexplained pattern. The mind fills the silence. It always does. So tonight, when you put your phone down and the room goes dark, ask yourself something simple. If a message appeared from your own number, would you assume a glitch, or would your imagination take over first?